Hello, everyone. My name is Genevieve Medina. I am the AmeriCorps and Campus Compact Vista, serving with Providence College and the Feinstein Institute for Public Service. And this is an overview of my 2020-2021 year of service. I just briefly want to talk about what you'll be seeing in this presentation. First of all, I will be doing an introduction, going over the goals of my service year, sharing the challenges and successes, how I measured progress, and thinking about the sustainability of this project. I'd like to start by telling you all a little bit more about my host site. I've had the privilege of serving my own hometown of Providence, Rhode Island, through Providence College's Feinstein Institute for Public Service. My goal was to collaborate with community partners and stakeholders to develop K-12 educational success in Providence. To do this, I had to better understand the community I was serving. Providence College is located in the Smith Hill area of Providence. Residents in this area have long felt the impact of living in a college town, since it is home to not only Providence College, but another college in the very nearby area. The college attempts to bridge this gap between Smith Hill residents and the college students that take up space in their neighborhoods by creating meaningful service opportunities. That is where the Feinstein Institute for Public Service steps in. The Feinstein Institute leads efforts in creating and supporting these community connections. And finally, the students in the Smith Hill area, most of whom are part of the Providence Public School District, are benefiting from this project. In the summer of 2019, after the release of the Johns Hopkins University report that pointed out critical conditions of the Providence public school system, the state then took over the school system, and we are working through the aftermath of that now. So where do we start? Going into my service year, my vet helped me to create clear goals and work with a more specific vision of how to best serve this community. I was able to walk away with 3 core objectives. First, to integrate members of the Providence College community into state-level work for K-12 success and post-high school education support. Secondly, to create a K-12 program partnership with 1 to 3 local middle or high schools that can be executed and supported by the Feinstein Institute staff. And finally, to centralize all of the K-12 and Providence Public School work on PC's campus to ensure efficiency and meaningful engagements on both ends. So how did we work towards these goals? What steps did we take? Well, first, after introducing myself to stakeholders of both the PC and Providence community, I initiated conversations to gauge buy-in for programming that aims to support middle and high school students through community partnerships. Secondly, over the course of several months, I, along with the FIPS team, engaged in applying to become the partnership school with Breakthrough Providence for their new college-bound pilot program. And third, as of the start of the spring semester, we began creating multiple plans for a summer programming initiative. We have presented these ideas to the Director of Strategic Partnerships for Providence Public School District, and the director then connected our team to Providence Public School that was interested in partnering for programming. As you can imagine, there are plenty of forces and situations that prevented us from reaching some of or part of these goals. COVID-19 and the takeover of the Providence Public School District are among the most prominent situations that we ran into. At the beginning of the year, we faced multiple failures in communication with previously interested organizations. So this presented itself in ways like folks not reaching back out to us or previous point of contacts that were no longer available to us. We also found that there was a lot of hesitation to plan for programming due to the unpredictability of 2020 and the effects of COVID-19. We found that a lot of folks, or our point of contacts, were not quite sure what they were doing, especially at the beginning of the school year. And so it was really difficult to create a plan going forward as the future was really hazy at that point. We also found some failure to meet immediate needs for some organizations. For example, as previously stated, we were applying to become Breakthrough Providence partnership school for their pilot program. And this was not, this didn't work out, unfortunately, because they had needs that we didn't have the capacity to fill at that time. And finally, one of my biggest challenges this year was the ability to collect quantitative data. It was extremely difficult since I have had very little FaceTime with folks in the community and not being able to directly hear from students. It was very difficult to collect that kind of data. And of course, there were plenty of wins for my service project and our team and the city of Providence as well. Because of the vast number of conversations that we had with stakeholders and members of our community in the beginning of the year, we were able to collect a lot of qualitative data and hear from them what it is that we should be working on and how we can best serve the students of Providence. We also heard from our community partners and what their students needed from us. Our team was also part of supporting the Prepare RI internship program for the summer of 2021. We are currently creating plans for future programming, including the partnership with Providence Public School. So overall, I would call this service year an overall success. As previously mentioned, it was difficult to collect quantitative data. I did my best in trying to put our work into numbers. I have some key indicators and some of our results. One of our key indicators was the number of stakeholders and partners collaborating to create access. As a result of our conversations with stakeholders, we have been able to identify 6 people within the Providence College community willing to work with us and create meaningful programs and access for Providence students, one of whom was the provost of the school, who was very much excited to get working on this. Another key indicator was the number of Providence Public School students supported by initiatives. This one was a little bit more difficult because while we are not sure of how many students will be directly impacted in the very near future, we expect to reach at least 4 to 6 students by next fall. Finally, the number of organizations or partnerships benefiting from capacity building. As previously mentioned, we have been fortunate enough to be connected to a Providence Public School. And while that partnership is very, very early in the stages of finalizing plans for the summer, we are able to count that as a solid partnership. So let's think about sustainability. How can we make sure this work continues after my service year? Well, my host site will not be applying for another AmeriCorps Campus Compact Vista for next year. We have talked it out and worked together to create capacity for a graduate assistant who will fulfill similar duties in regards to this partnership. The graduate assistant will serve as a K-16 community partner liaison, create new partnerships with organizations or persons in the community, check in with those community partners on a regular basis, work with program coordinators to oversee the Prepare RI interns and their projects. And aside from this position being created, I know that the administrative team of the Feinstein Institute has and will continue to be completely invested in this work as a part of their mission to serve the city of Providence. Thank you.